This is part two to your video that goes with your assignment number 24. And part one, you learned how to solve a quadratic equation by completing the square. And then in this part two, we're going to go over using the quadratic formula. A lot of students do this a lot in high school and remember it. But if not, we're going to take some time in this video to go over it. The first thing you need to do when you're solving a quadratic form with using the quadratic formula is it has to be in standard form. So everything needs to be on the same side before you identify values of what the A, B, and C stand for. And then you're going to substitute those values into the formula. You don't have to necessarily memorize this. It's given to you, but it isn't a bad thing to really be able to recognize and be very, very familiar with it. In the formula, there's a negative in front of B. So, and then there's plus or minus. That's where the two solutions come from, right? So you may have to pull it apart and simplify it a little bit more. And then the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C all over 2A. One thing I highly recommend is try not to be in the habit of entering this into your calculator in its entirety, because sometimes underneath that radical it becomes a negative number, which we learned in topic 9.5. And the problem with that is it's going to give you a domain error in your calculator. So I recommend always doing the math under the radical itself and leaving it as a radical, then simplifying it as a second step. So I rewrite the quadratic formula a lot as we go through. I'm going to write it over here. So negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C. That's all over 2 times A. So I just rewrote it so you can see it in the screen. So this number 91 is not in the correct form. We need to get everything on the left-hand side first. So just like solving when you were factoring, everything had to be on the same side. So you kind of have to know what's the starting point for this method. So we would have 4x squared plus 8x, and since it's a positive 3, you would be subtracting it, so it'd become a negative on that other side. And then we identify values for A, B, and C. So the number in front of your x squared is your A, the number in front of your x is a B, and your constant is your C. So sometimes I write it over here just to show you instead of writing it above so that you can see those values. So this is the values that we're plugging into here. And for the most part, sometimes you can plug that all in and your calculator will do it all for you, but I really want you to be in the habit of doing the math under the radical, not in your calculator. So from the formula, we have a negative, but my B is an 8. And then we have plus or minus, and underneath the radical, we have 8, so that's my B squared, minus 4 times A is a 4, and C is a negative 3. All over 2 times A, and A was 4. So we'll write negative 8 plus or minus, and under that radical, I'm just going to do this math, and I can do that in my calculator. So 8 squared minus 4 times a negative 3 is 112. So under that radical, it's 112. All over 2 times 4 is 8. So we will need to pull that apart and simplify and also see if that radical can simplify. So what is the square root of 112? Since it's a positive number, we could do that. That's 4 square roots of 7. I'm going to write it above just so that you can see. That really would be that simplified. Okay, so we're going to say this 8 really goes to this and that. So negative 8 over 8 plus or minus 4 square roots of 7 over 8. The reason I pull it apart is because I see that 8 could reduce a couple things. 8 goes into 8 one time, so that'd be like a negative 1 plus or minus. And remember, since this isn't under the radical, this could reduce. 4 can go into itself one time, and 4 can go into 8 2 times. And just like with variables, we would not put, I'm going to write it in 1, we wouldn't put an understood 1 in front of it. That would be an understood value, even though if you didn't have that radical there, you would need to put like 1, right? Because that 4 over 8 is really like 1/2, but because that radical is there, we don't have to do that. And then in WebAssign, again, you would have to pull it apart, say -1 plus the square root of 7 over 2, comma, -1 minus the square root of 7 over 2. Example 92 is not in standard form, so we have to do that first. Sometimes the biggest mistake I see students doing in this lesson is identifying A, B, and C like this, and if you do that, then your signs will be wrong, giving you the wrong answer. So you have to say 2x squared. I would be subtracting x to move it over, so it'd become -x, and I would be adding 5, so it'd become a +5 equals 0. So my A value is a 2, my B value is a -1, and my C value is 5 into that formula. So your formula is above. Hopefully you have that written where you can see it as well. So we have negative from the formula, but B is a -1. So sometimes you have a double negative that you'll have to fix. Plus or minus under the radical, -1 squared minus 4 times A, which is 2, times C, which is 5. All over 2 times A, and A was 2. So we have a negative and a negative makes that +1, plus or minus, and underneath this radical, we're going to do the math. Okay, so this is like saying -1 squared minus 4 times 2 times 5. And so that's a -39. So this is a good example of why we really need to do the math under the radical. Otherwise, it would give you a domain error because that's going to end up being an imaginary number. All over 2 times 2 is 4. So remember to check and see if we can even simplify that, we have to pull out an I in front so that we can make it a imaginary number to work with. And then you can check to see if it simplifies, which the square root of 39 doesn't. So that means your x's could be 1 plus or minus I square root of 39, and we can just put it all over 4 since 4 can't reduce either of those like whole numbers or the number in front of I, because there's not anything. So in WebAssign, you'd have to write 1 plus I square root of 39 over 4, comma 1 minus I square root of 39 over 4. And so again, I know that seems weird. You know, we're talking about solving a quadratic formula. Remember, these are values for x, and sometimes x is not a nice, neat number. It's an imaginary number, and it looks kind of complex there. So those are your two solutions. 93 is in standard form, so we can use that. A equals 8, B equals a -10, C equals a -3. So plugging that in, we are going to say, I'll draw a line there so I can keep kind of some organization. So -b, and B was a -10, plus or minus the square root of B squared, so -10 squared minus 4 times A was 8, times C is a -3, all over 2 times A, and A is 8. Okay, so a negative and a negative make that a +10. One thing I did want to mention, when you put that in there and you're squaring it, make sure, reminding you about how to use your calculator, that you use a parentheses in your calculator. Otherwise, if you don't, just remember, if you plug it into your calculator like that, that's like saying the opposite of 10 squared, and it will give you a negative number, and that's often where a mistake will be made too. It is different than putting it in parentheses, because then that's telling you -10 times a -10 is a +100. Okay, so make sure you enter it just like that and write it in your calculator like that. So -10 squared minus 4 times 8 times a -3 under that radical is 196. All over 2 times 8 is 16. So that is a positive radical, so that's good. This example happens to be a perfect square number. This is like 14, okay? 14 times 14 is 196. We didn't have a radical, so this is an example where you actually get two nice numbers, or two different numbers. So I'm gonna go ahead and write it as one thing like we have before, 10 plus or minus 14 over 16. So hopefully what you notice here is that they're all just numbers. There's not a radical. So let's pull it apart and let's solve it. So this would be like saying 10 plus 14 over 16 and 10 minus 14 over 16. And then you'll get your two solutions. And you can tell your calculator to do all of that for you. I know 10 and 14 make 24 over 16 if you're not using your calculator, but then you would want to reduce it. So that'd be 3 over 2. Or again, if you're just saying, calculator, do the math for me, 10 minus 14 over 16 will take you there as well. So that'd be a negative 1 over 4. So I know that looks kind of nice, but we have these two solutions. So we have x would equal 3 over 2 and a negative 1 over 4. So it's not always a nice, really complex solution. I'm going to work this one. I do think it's important that even online students or whatever, that sometimes you try some on your own and you can check that on your own. I feel like we've done 3 of every kind that you would see so far. And I'm going to turn and go to a word problem. And again, I will complete these others. They're just extra practice problems. And go ahead and do that on your own. That's what I do in my normal class. I ask them to do some on their own and check themselves, make sure they got the right solution from the completed notes that I post in Blackboard. So let's go here. It says, example 93, to apply this, after a baseball is hit, the height h in feet of the ball above the ground in t seconds after it is hit can be approximated by this equation. So they give you an equation. Using this equation, determine when the ball will hit the ground. Hint, the ball hits the ground when the height is 0. So basically you're saying put 0 in place of h, negative 16t squared plus 70t plus 4. And so we just use our quadratic formula. A equals negative 16, B equals 70, and C equals 4. So in that formula, we say negative B, so negative 70 plus or minus, underneath the radical, 70 squared minus 4 times A, and A is a negative 16, times C, and C is 4. All over 2 times A, and A is a negative 16. So just like the others, I would probably write negative 70 again, plus or minus, and get my radical ready and do this math. So we have 70 squared. I'll go ahead and write in parentheses like I told you actually. So 70 squared minus 4 times a negative 16 times 4 is a big number, 5,156. All over 2 times a negative 16 is a negative 32. And then so from there, we want to simplify. Let me see if 5,156 isn't a perfect square number, but that's okay in this type of problem because we aren't really going to have to leave this in radical form. We're going to approximate it. We're applying it to something specific, and it's wanting to approximate like when the ball hits the ground approximately. So what I want you to do is think you're taking negative 70 plus the square root of 5156 over a negative 32. We'll get a solution, and negative 70 minus the square root of 5156 all over negative 32. Okay, so this one is kind of the exception to the rule. We won't be leaving it in radical form because it's an application problem talking about time. And for it to make sense, we will do an approximation. So we're going to plug in our calculator using the fraction key, negative 70 plus, I hit the wrong square root button, so let me start over, negative 70 plus the square root of 5156 all over a negative 32. It's going to give you this right here. Let's round to the nearest thousandth. So maybe that's the three numbers, tenth, hundredth, thousandth. So since that's a 6, I would leave it the same. I would and then drop the rest off since to the right of that is less than 5. So negative 0.056. Well, if we're talking about time, because that's what we're finding, when we're solving for t in this case and not an x, since it was a t squared, which is your time, we can't have negative time. So that's probably not going to be a real answer, right? It's going to need to be positive. So let's go look at this one and see if it becomes a positive. So fraction negative 70 minus the square root of 5156 all over negative 32 is a positive 4 point, and I'm going to round to 3 decimals, which is the thousandths place, tenths, hundred thousandths. If the number to the right of the 1 is less than 5, we keep the 1 the same. So 4.431 seconds. So that would be the solution. You couldn't choose this one because it was negative and we're talking about time, applying it to a real life application. So there are a couple extra practice problems that you could do on your own in that lecture. I will finish them and I will scan and upload it to Blackboard so that you can just double check yourself on the practice problems before you jump into working with the homework.